Welcome back to Learners Academy. This is Mona Bhatia. In Science and Technology Part 2, I'm going to cover second lecture on heredity and evolution. And the points that I'm going to cover are evidences of evolution, morphological, anatomical, paleontological, embryological evidences along with vestigial organ. And I'm going to cover carbon dating method also. So there's a lot to learn. So keep watching, stay focused. Evolution is an everlasting process of changes. Morphology means structure and form. Have you noticed similarity in the structure of mouth, position of mouth, then similarity in the structure of nostrils, ear pinnae, or even hair on the body? These are all morphological similarities. In plants also, shape of leaves, leaf venation, leaf petiole, there is a similarity in the form and appearance. When you observe these similarities, you can get the idea that their origin must be same and they must have had common ancestors. So these similarities in the form and structure are morphological evidences that supports the theory of evolution. When you observe human hand, cat's foreleg, patagium of bat or flippers of whale, you won't see any superficial similarity in them. Also, they have different use in different animals, like patagium of bat is used for flying, whereas the flippers of whale is used for swimming, and human hand is used for doing many activities. Forelegs of cat is used for jumping, but however, when you observe, there is a similarity in the structure of bone and bony joints. This similarity indicates that these animals may have common ancestor, and this anatomical similarity in the structure of bone also supports the theory of evolution. Vestigial organs are the organs which are either degenerated or underdeveloped, useless organs. The existing organs undergo gradual changes, and there is never a sudden change. A body part may be useful under certain situations but may become useless or even harmful under different conditions. So then that structure begins to degenerate, and as per the principle of natural selection, it takes thousands of years for a structure to disappear completely. We can see organs which are in different phases of disappearance in different animals, but the same structure may be functional and also useful in other organisms. That means they are not vestigial in them. They are not completely useless in them. For example, appendix, which is useless in human, it is useful in case of ruminants. Ruminants means cows and cattle. And then muscles of ear pinnae, which is useless in case of humans, but it is useful in monkeys and other animals. And then we have tailbone, wisdom teeth, which are present in human body but are not essential for them, but they are useful in other animals. Alright, so the vestigial organ theory also supports the theory of evolution, and it supports the idea that evolution process is very gradual and is not sudden. Paleontological evidences are the remnants and impression of the organism which are preserved underground. They are called fossils. Large number of animals, they get buried under earth due to sudden natural calamities like floods, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, or ice age. Study of these fossils is very important aspect of study of evolution. The study indicates that vertebrates have been slowly originated from invertebrates. When we study the structure of ground level and fossils, we can make out that invertebrates slowly developed into pisces, amphibians, and then reptile during Paleozoic era. After that, in Mesozoic era, higher reptile evolved and they got extinct also, like dinosaurs. In Cenozoic era, mammals, birds, and slowly they evolved. So the paleontological evidences also suggest that evolution is a very slow and gradual process which has been happening for the past 300 crores of years, and we are still evolving. Carbon dating is a technique to understand the age of a fossil. When an organism is alive, it consumes carbon continuously, but this process ends after their death. Later, their body carbon in the form of carbon 14 undergoes continuous decaying process, but not for carbon 12. Carbon 12 is not radioactive. Therefore, the ratio between carbon 12 and carbon 14 changes continuously. Alright, now the time passed since the death of a plant or animal can be calculated by measuring the radioactivity of carbon 14 and also the ratio between carbon 14 to 12 present in their body. This is called carbon dating method. Alright, now this method is used in many fields like paleontology, anthropology, for determining the age of fossils and manuscripts. Once the age of fossil is been determined by such technique, it becomes very easy to deduce the information and to calculate the age of fossils and placing them in the geological time scale. And also it helps us in understanding that vertebrate have been slowly originated from invertebrates. And this method was first developed by Willard Libby, and he was awarded Nobel Prize for this in 1960, and this method was published in the journal Radiocarbon. Sometimes some animals and plants show morphological characters which can be related to two different groups. For example, Peripatus. Peripatus, it has segmented body, thin cuticle, and it has parapodia like organs, and these characters are peculiar to the group of annelids. But they also show tracheal respiration and open circulatory system, which is a special feature of arthropoda. So they are connecting links between arthropoda and annelida. So this indicates that Peripatus is a connecting link between two groups. Alright, now let's have a look at duckbill platypus. It lays egg like reptiles, and most of the characters of this animal resembles to reptilian group, but it has got mammary gland and it has hair on its body like mammals. So it is a connecting link between reptiles and mammals. Now again, one more example is of lungfish. Lungfish is a fish, but it performs respiration with lungs irrespective of being a fish. So it is a connecting link between amphibians and Pisces. So all these examples, they suggest that mammals are evolved from reptiles and amphibians have evolved from fish. If you observe the embryos of various vertebrates and do a comparative study for fish, salamander, tortoise, chicken, pig, cow, rabbit and man, you will observe that there is a stark similarity during the initial stages, and those similarities decrease gradually. Similarities in the initial stages, that indicates the common origin of all these animals, and it also proves the theory of slow and gradual evolution. So hence we conclude this lecture with the collective thinking upon all the above mentioned evidences that evolution is an everlasting process of change. I'm sure you have understood the concept of evidences of evolution covered in this chapter, and if you really like the learning today, you can consider subscribing my channel, and listening to the audio file really helps in understanding the concepts better. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next videos. So till then, keep watching, keep learning. Have a good day. Bye bye.